Love and happiness.
What up, world, and welcome back to the Pursuit of the Good Life podcast, where we talk about how to enhance your relationship and crush those professional goals. I am your host, the Cameron Lovelace, joined as always by the intelligent, amazing, blickety black, Dr. Sarah Lee Benson. Sarah, what's going on?
Hey Cam, how are you? It's my favorite month. It's Black History.
It's still Black History Month. Hope y'all enjoyed last week's episode, and of course the new introduction songs that we're doing to just, capitalize Black History Month. Have the smooth sounds this week. It's the day before Valentine's Day.
I know. It's love.
It's love. So we have dedicated this episode to love and how to make every day Valentine's Day. But first, since it's still Black History Month, we are going to bring you another Black History fact. Hope y'all enjoyed last week with Mrs.
Claudette Colvin.
Coleman?
Colvin.
Colvin.
Yes.
Put some respect on her name. Anyway, hope y'all enjoyed last week. So we're bringing another one this week. Sarah, take it away.
Yeah, so this week we are highlighting another group. They're called SNCC, if you guys have ever heard of them. That stood for Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. I had to remember their name because I've only ever known them as SNCC. But this group of young people, they were the younger Blacks during the time of the Civil Rights Movement. And so with this group, you would kind of think of them as like the hands and the feet of the movement. So this was the group of people who started the Freedom Riders. For those of you who know who the Freedom Riders were, they were the people who were trying to do desegregate busing. So like big, not international, but internation busing. So like Greyhound and things like that. They also were the ones who directed the Black voter registration drives in the South. And so those were the ones who were out there really trying to get people to vote. If you guys have seen the movie Mississippi Burning, have you seen that movie?
I don't think I've seen the whole thing. I need to watch
it. It's pretty older, but it's about those three young guys who were killed in Mississippi. Mm-hmm. They were a part of this group.
Oh, okay.
They were a part of this group of people. And so we just wanted to highlight them, give y'all a little Black history fact. Me personally, I thought it was really cool because you have a lot of people, even now, you have a lot of people who say a lot of things like, oh, let's go do this, let's protest. But there are very few people who actually do it. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I feel like this Black History Moment just kind of highlights just the difference between saying it and doing it. And we need to be people who go out there and do it. And so that is our Black History Moment.
Excellent. Thank you, Sarah, for that. Be a doer like SNCC. Not snitch, not NAACP. I mean, NAACP, they be doing stuff. But you can be young and still be impactful for your community, for even your region, if you go on the level of SNCC. So, fantastic. Well, let's jump into the topic on basically how to make every day Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna be honest, when I thought about Valentine's Day, my immediate thoughts went to my single days because only till about 4 years ago when I got with Sparkle. No, we got together after Valentine's Day, so we wasn't even a thing.
I
so
didn't even have a Valentine's Day.
No, because we first started dating in May.
Okay.
So this was obviously after all that good stuff. So really, I only really paid attention, had somebody to quote unquote share it with since 2017. All the other prior years, I never had a committed girlfriend.
Valentine.
Yes, a committed Valentine, you are my Valentine, stuff like that. Maybe I was a little slick with it in junior high, where what I would do, because I was single, I would bag a big bag of kisses, Hershey's Kisses, and pass them out and say, here's a kiss from Cameron.
Really?
That's what I was saying. That's what I would do.
Sweet.
That's
cute.
That's what I did in I think junior high and high school.
That was real cute.
And I cut it off in college because everybody all over campus, so stuff like that. So I was a little slick with it.
Yeah.
But with Valentine's Day being well, one of the highest grossing holidays in the United States, I think we place too much, and we were talking about this offline, that I think people talk too much about the monetary value of Valentine's Day, and they place too much emphasis on a single day when every day should be Valentine's Day, and how to make that. But of course, we want to be mindful of everybody, no matter what stage of the relationship that you're in, whether you are absolutely positively single as a Pringle and you ain't got nobody in your corner right now, you ain't talking to nobody, you ain't got nobody in your DMs, you just got out of a relationship, so you ain't trying to talk, you just by yourself, single, like singles, capital single, yes. Like single. So we want to start with you guys as far as this topic goes. So I mean, the thing about that is, and me and Sarah were talking about this, really you got to emphasize self-love. Yeah. So what is self-love? You know, Sarah, if you ask Sarah what that is, she gonna say, oh, you want to take yourself out to eat, you want to go out, you want to just do things for yourself.
Right.
And
love yourself.
And I know a lot of y'all probably respond to this, I don't want to do all that. I want to be with somebody. I don't want to, So that's make people more comfortable with self-love, Sarah.
So for me, Valentine's Day is actually one of my favorite holidays. It's right up there with Christmas. That's just because I love love. Okay, so wait,
before we go any further. Last week you said Black History Month was in your top 3, so I just assumed that Black History Month was 3, Christmas or Thanksgiving was 1 and 2. So now you telling me that Valentine's Day is in the 1 and 2. So where's the ranking here?
So it's like Christmas, Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on the same level for me because I feel like that's just family time. Mm-hmm. And so growing up, so I was originally born in Oklahoma City, but I grew up in Mississippi. So we split the holidays. So either I was spending one holiday in Mississippi or one in Oklahoma City, and I still do that. After that, it would be Black History Month because that's my favorite time of the year. And then, of course, since it's Black History Month, it also has one of my favorite holidays, which would be Valentine's Day. Mm-hmm. So those are my rankings as far as that. And I love Valentine's Day because I love love. Whether it's self-love, love with your friends, love with your family. Mm-hmm. I love love. But when it comes to self-love, for me, I feel like it's just you loving yourself. You do whatever you have to do to feel love that day. And so for some people, it is going out. It is taking yourself out to dinner. Mm-hmm. It might be buying yourself something nice. It could be you just taking a few hours and not doing nothing. Like really just love yourself. And I feel like you should have self-love whether you're in a relationship or single, because even if you're in a relationship, how can you love somebody else or expect somebody to love you if you don't know what you love or you don't love yourself? That's like me, like not knowing what I want to eat, but expecting my boyfriend to know what I want to eat. But I don't even know what I want to eat.
No, that's just crazy. That's just not sane thinking. That's what that is. That ain't got nothing to do with self-love. That is just straight up craziness.
I use that as an example, but honestly, like how can you expect somebody to just love you to the fullest when you don't even love yourself or you don't even know what you love? To me, I feel like that's crazy. I'm not a mind reader.
No, I agree with that, but I just want to speak for the men out there and say that we ain't mind readers either. So, do y'all know though? That's the thing. I don't think a lot of rational women just think that we rationally do not read minds. I think y'all just expect us to just know. But that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole other topic.
For another day. Love. But you're absolutely right, because self-love is the foundation of your love. Because you got to love yourself before you can even begin to love another person. Because when you don't have self-love, you will define love according to that person. Yep. And you'll attach it and get intertwined with it. And you will base yourself based on how this person treats you, how this person responds to you, how this person is with you and affectionate with you and treats you. and does things with you, instead of basing it off of your own version of what is love for you. Do you like going to the movies? Do you hate going to the movies? Do you prefer to go out? Do you like just spending time at home watching on the Netflix? Do you prefer to be a laid back atmosphere? Do you prefer to go out and be around people? You have to start with, what is it that you as a person love? I mean, what you got to date yourself. Yes. Really. You got to start by dating yourself. You do. And a lot of people don't do that because I think we just kind of thrown in, and depending on your region, I think it's different expectation for different regions, especially in the United States. In the South here, of course, it's, Bible Belt, get married, find somebody, get married, be fruitful and multiply. But there's not really emphasis on getting to know yourself and developing yourself before you meet the person. Because I know in relationship goals, one of Transformation Church, Michael Todd, shout out to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I remember his first message was before the person. Like, that's the first message in that series. If you haven't seen that series, you should go check it out. It's very popular, and it's like it's a very powerful series. I think it's like 8 sermons in there. 8 of them. So, but go check that out. But before you meet the person, you got to find out who you are in yourself first, because that's very important before you add anybody else to the equation, because before you add them to the equation, you'll know who is and is not for you.
That is so true. And not only that, I think a lot of people don't even know what their love language is.
I don't know. Some
people haven't even heard of love language. So I feel like that's like a very important piece to this whole self-love. And even when you get into a relationship with somebody, because one thing we know is we love people how we want to receive love. So that
is fact.
If my love language is physical touch, then that's how I'm going to love everybody. I'm going to want to hug everybody. Mm-hmm. But if I'm with somebody who physical touch is not their love language, and they like acts of service, me hugging and kissing on you, will you really want me to wash some dishes or, cook a meal? Mm-hmm. That's not going to work. Like, there's going to be a disconnect. And then now we mad at each other. We feel like the other person doesn't know. But you have to know, one, you need to know what your love language is. And then once you move to a relationship with somebody, you need to learn what their love language is.
So let's go through roughly what the love languages are. Okay. So the 5 love languages is this very popular, it's based on this very popular book that this author, I don't know the name of the author. We'll throw it up there on the YouTube. But he basically broke it down where people receive and give love in 5 different categories. Yes. Now, we all like these 5 categories, but we tend to sway to more than the others.
So it kind of ranks them.
Right. It ranks them. So this is a free test. Free. 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 So there's no excuse for you not to inform yourself of what it is that you could be. Now, it's not rigid. So when you take this test, this isn't the end all be all. As you go through life, as you go through different seasons, as you go through different versions of yourself, you're going to find out that the pendulum does swing between these 5 love languages. But let's quickly just go through them. So the first one is, let's say words of affirmation. Words of affirmation basically means I enjoy you telling me, I love you. You're pretty. You're fine. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you do for me. I love you so much. You're the apple of my eye. You're the love of my heart. These people just really like being they like to be gassed up. Like these people like to be gassed up.
Affirmed in love.
That's the nice way to say it. These people like to be gassed up. They want to, when you talk to them and tell them how good they look, what they doing, they doing the dang thing. That's what they trying to. They want you to butter their biscuits, of course. And we all like to be told we look good, we doing our thing. We all like it, but these people love it. Like that's what they need. So the next one, like Sarah alluded to, is acts of service. Yes. So acts of service personally is one of my top love languages. This basically is under the impression of you actually like doing stuff for that person.
Yes.
Now, from the person who likes to receive acts of service, I personally love it. If you can, whatever you can do to make my load easier, I will love you. So, because I'm not a workaholic, but I'm like pretty in the grind. I'm like consistently working, whether it's editing podcasts, posting videos, going and doing trainings, coaching people, counseling people. I'm kind of on the go. So whatever you can do to make it easier for me is like amazing. I remember one day I came in from work and the podcast was already set up. The lights was there. The lights was there. Everything was already set up. So I walked in. I was like,
she loved you.
I had text her automatically and say, thank you, baby. And she sent me back, kiss me back. So she knows how to make things easier for me, whether that is coming home, like cooking and already having the food ready, or having my favorite intention, like thinking about what is it that I like. I hadn't had, I've been on this fast for 21 days. If I come home to a Popeye's chicken sandwich ready, hot in the microwave, ready for me just to press start, making things easier. That is that's the love language of the acts of service. And we also, and so the ones that's giving the acts of service, you got to recognize they are doing things like maybe rubbing your feet, maybe getting something for you, maybe picking something up for you. Like their love is in action. So that's the acts of service. The next one is quality time. Well, that goes without saying. Not necessarily that we got to be, at the concert, we got to be out around a whole bunch of people, we got to spend a lot of money, but they just care about being around you, and we're doing something like intentional. Mm-hmm. So even if we're on the couch watching Netflix, I got my arm around, we got the snacks, we're watching something funny, we're developing memories and spending that quality time. That's also a high one for me. It kind of goes without saying, but these people don't care about monetary values. They don't care about the flowers. They don't care about the chocolates. They don't care about the bears. They just want to be with you. The next one, physical touch. Now, for my men, this doesn't just mean sex. Sex is included in this, but a lot of men like sex. But it's more about affection, hand holding, hugs, stroking their hair, playing with their hair, rubbing their hair. For some reason, y'all women like to be petted like dogs, and they just be like, just think. So, rubbing, like, just, they just like to be felt. They like, PDA, like to be felt upon. That's more of a PG-13 version of it. But these people are very like hugs. That's their love. They want to lean all upon you. Yes. They want to all that good stuff.
They just want to touch you.
Yep, that's one of my top two. If you married,
that's a lot of guys' top.
I won't say a lot of guys. I mean, I think it just depends on the guy. Because for me, words of affirmation, I'm secure in my ego. So words of affirmation, I like it, but I don't have to have it. Like, you could go a whole 6 months without telling me I'm fine. I'm still gonna look in the mirror like, what's cooking, good looking, and then keep on rolling. Cause I'm gonna tell myself I'm fine. But Sparkle's not like that. Sparkle is words of affirmation, so I gotta make sure I stay on top of that. And I'm physical touch, I'm quality time, and I'm act service. Act service is definitely the top. I'd say those second two are probably they're tied probably for second. What
you got the last one.
What?
Gifts.
Yes.
Gifts, which is probably I wouldn't say that probably, but so you do have gifts. So there are some people who their love language is receiving gifts. Whatever that is, whether you buy them lunch or you bought them maybe you saw something that reminded you of them. They like gifts. That is their thing. Surprisingly enough, gifts has always been my lowest.
That's because you're not vain, because that's because you're down to earth, Sarah. But personally,
it's always my lowest.
This is always my lowest too. But I just I had a little bias against people whose gifts is the number one, because I feel like, and please comment if you are gifts and this is like you vehemently against it, whatever. Say your opinion. But my opinion is these people are like very like vain, and they're not, and not all of them, but a lot of people, like there's a person that we mutually know that used to go to our church. I will not say their name on the podcast, but they are high gifts of service, and for their birthday, they always like want the biggest, brightest, baddest gifts, and they go like as far as everything head to toe is like designer, like they want high quality gifts, very expensive gifts. And they say it's not about the price, it's about the quality. I said, yeah, whatever.
So, I mean, for them, it probably is about the quality of things for them. Which,
if you date somebody with whose number one is gifts, then
you just know you're gonna be.
You gonna have to ball out. Let's call it what it is. If you ain't rich, you don't need to date nobody. If you are on the come up, if you're in the what's it called, the potential. Like the people, the men and the women who got potential, you know what I'm saying? Everybody say, I'll mess with a man who got some potential. If they in the potential phase, you don't need to be dating nobody.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, because even if you're in the potential phase, like if you really love this person, you're going to do what you got to do to make it happen. So whether you're in the potential or... No, I'm not saying go broke. I'm not saying go broke. What I'm saying is... What you saying? You need to know who you with.
Okay. No.
You need to know who you with. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go broke, but you need to know who you with.
No, I thought you were saying make it work for. I was like, what you mean make it work here?
No, just need to know who you with. So like for me, you know, my top is acts of service. I think it's like acts of service, words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, and then gifts. And so I think the reason why gifts is so low for me is because I've been in the relationship where I think like, honestly, I ain't gonna say that. I've been in a relationship where that person gave me a lot. And so like but they really didn't care. I didn't feel like they cared about me. And so for me, giving me a gift, like that's cool. But like, I really want to know, like, do you really care about me? Right. Like, do you really, like, that's how I really feel matter? Or you just gonna just throw a gift at me and just be like, okay, be happy.
you know what? That's crazy, because I have heard like different clients in this, I'd say in this past year, well, we're in 2020 now, but towards the end of last year, I've had a couple clients say that's how their parents did them.
Yes.
So love language doesn't just apply to intimate relations. It applies also to familial and friendships and all that good stuff. But I see a lot of people told me that whether it was like an abusive type of situation where their father, their mother did something or said something, more often than not, it was because they said something that was really cutting and unnecessary out of their anger. And then after, it basically was, instead of saying, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, they just buy them a gift. Yeah. And think that it's okay. Yeah. And the kids, they be having issues. Like that's hence why they in my office. But they be having issues where they just bought me a gift, but they didn't okay. And they've been holding on to it. And this is like years later. This ain't like it happened yesterday. This is like years later. And they remember exactly what you said when you said it and what you did to try to sweep it under the rug. But the mess is still there. But that's, again, we're getting kind of off topic, but we're still on topic.
Let's bring it back to love.
But back to the love and gifts. Y'all vain people. I need y'all to focus on these other quality time, physical touch. Don't just gifts. It's not. Yeah.
Right. But the important thing in all this is you need to know what yours is.
Correct.
And it is good to know. So if you're interested in dating somebody, or you're in a serious relationship, or even if you're married, it's good to know what your partner's love language is, so that you are loving them in the way that they receive love and not the way that you receive love. Because that's where like a lot of disconnect happens. So like I have definitely had conversations with like married couples who have said that like, well, maybe like one partner's was like physical touch and the other partner's like words of affirmation. And so like they both were trying to love each other based off of their love language. Right. But we're getting frustrated because it wasn't working, because that's not how we do that. But like once they finally realized, okay, that's where the disconnect was, it just made life better. It made life easier.
Or on the flip side, where one is whereas one is acts of service, the other is quality time.
Right.
One spouse wants to just spend time, like, let's go on a date, let's go do something. The other one is like, what are you talking about? You know I love you. I iron your clothes. I pick up your stuff. I wash the dishes. You come home to a clean house. I pay the bills. You want for nothing. And so, yeah, it's really important to get on that same page, especially if you can do it before you get in a relationship, you'll be way ahead of the curve in terms of like identifying how you give love and how you receive love. Yes. So self-love, a good guide is the 5 love languages. Yes. Go look it up. It's free. Again, it's free. This is not a sponsored podcast, but it's free. Free. It's free for everybody. So go check that out. Before the single folk, I think we off them.
Just listen. Just make it a love day.
I mean, just make it a love day. Don't make it a bash, a hate day.
A hate day. Because you do have people who will look at Valentine's Day and be like, oh, this is the day that I dread because I don't have anybody. You know, I mean, use that time to, like I said, reconnect with yourself, reconnect with your friends. Like me and my friends for years, we would celebrate that day together. Like we would all do something nice for ourselves. And then we would go to dinner. Like it became like a literal celebration of love day for just everybody. Like it's not as bad as the world might make it seem.
I mean, fellas, we don't really do that. I'm gonna be honest. We don't really.
Y'all don't celebrate?
No. Together? We don't. No, not Valentine's Day.
Well, that's right, because y'all be in these streets.
Nah, we don't always be in these streets. There are the wholesome men out there.
There are some wholesome
the wholesome pursuers. Followers of the pod, you know what I'm saying? But we're probably not gonna get together on Valentine's Day per se. We're not gonna just, say, hey man, let's go out for Valentine's Day. What you mean? Man, I'm with my girl. What you mean get together for Valentine's Day? Where your girl? Man, if you don't find you a female, what you talk? Anyway, so there's that whole dynamic. We don't really do that. So for the men's, good luck, Chuck. Just do something nice for yourself, whether it's relax at home.
Yeah.
You've been working hard. But for the people that are in relationships, I would challenge you to think bigger, but that doesn't necessarily mean spend more money.
I like that.
So I know something that I've done in the past, and this wasn't even for Valentine's Day. I remember, it was last year actually, for Sparkle's birthday. What I did, I got her 26 gifts for her birthday. But, like I said, even though I spent a little chunk of change, like half of the list, I didn't necessarily spend a whole lot of money because I know that she's words of affirmation. So one of her gifts was a list of 26 things that I love about her because she's words of affirmation. But I know that she also needed to upgrade her closet because those of y'all who don't know Sparkle, she was a track star, so she had a lot of like t-shirts. So like dresses, she doesn't have a whole lot. She got them, but she didn't have like a whole lot. And she talked for like a whole 6 months to a year and plus talking about, I need to upgrade my wardrobe. So I was like, okay, let me just go ahead, ball out, buy a couple back stuff. You know what I'm saying? So try to bump it up with your quality of your love. So whatever that looks like for you. If that means if you love quality time and your favorite movie's coming out, I think go to the movies. I think one of our Valentine's Day we spent watching John Wick because it came out on Valentine's Day. I think so. We went saw John Wick for the $5 Tuesday and enjoyed it, and we was good.
Had a good old time.
And it was good. And we came back to the house, cooked dinner, and we was straight.
I love it. Yeah, no, I agree. I think one of the things that I absolutely love about me and Ken is that when we give gifts, we try to make sure it's something that we want, but we also just it's really the thought behind it for us. So one of his top love languages is words of affirmation. Mm-hmm. And so last year, one of the things I did for Valentine's Day was I wrote him a little book of 10 days of love. Mm. And so and I gave that to him. And so that was just something really inexpensive. And And I just wrote words so that like if he's ever having a bad day, just whatever, he can look at that. And that's something that he likes. So like one of the things I like to do is I like to give a homemade gift as well as like something else. For me, that just lets me be creative to do those things. But I give really good gifts, period, with my friends, because I give people what they want. And so like you can say something. So for instance, for his birthday. So when we like first started dating, he was just telling me the story about how there is a certain pair of Jordan shoes that when he was younger, he could not afford. So as he's gotten older, whenever they release them, he tries to get them. It's like very specific pairs of shoes. And so like probably back in like March of last year, his birthday's in October, he had like just mentioned them. Not even saying like, oh, I want to get these shoes. He was just like, yo, they coming out, da da da. So I saved that picture. And for his birthday, what he did not know, I got him those shoes. And like, he was just like, wow, like he's like, you actually pay attention. Duh, I pay attention. For some reason, men don't think we be paying attention, y'all. I don't know why.
I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons for that, but anyway.
Anyway, it really meant a lot that I could get this pair of shoes that like meant so much to him. And so I agree with you, Cam, that like, bump up the quality. Like even if you're buying something, make sure there's like a meaning behind it. Because let me tell you something, anybody can go and get
to Ruth Chris. Well, no, never mind.
Said what?
I said Ruth. I said anybody can go to Ruth Chris, but I was like, wait a minute. No, not everybody.
can go to Ruth Chris.
Everybody can't go to Ruth Chris. Everybody ain't got Ruth Chris money.
It's okay.
You can just go get like a box of chocolate and like a little teddy bear or something. It's cool. But like if it's something that the person like really wants or something that they said, trust me, like it's gonna hit a little bit different. Especially if it's something that they said in passing. One of my girlfriends, we went to the gym last week and she was just telling me how her boyfriend had bought her this dress. And she was like, he told her that one day she was just scrolling Instagram and she saw the dress and she had kind of like just like made it bigger. It was like, oh, that's cute. And went scrolling. Well, he went back and found the dress and bought it for her. I was like, that was so sweet. That's so thoughtful, Like, put a little meaning behind it. And it's gonna hit different.
Right. So, but how do you make every day Valentine's Day? Because that's the topic of the podcast. So for Valentine's Day, we're straight. We're taking it to another level. We're keeping quality. But how do we make every day Valentine's Day?
Be intentional. One of the things me and my boyfriend did, so me and Ken, we're in a long distance relationship. And he has taken me on lunch dates in Dallas and I'm in Memphis. So like I can give you like one of the, I know. See, my man intentional. So what he do is, one of the first times he did it, he was just like, hey, what time do you go to lunch? And I told him, and so he called in me some food. And then at that lunch, I went and picked my food up and we had a FaceTime lunch date. He had his lunch, I had my lunch. And to me, I thought that was just so sweet because this man is busy. He's doing all these things. And he literally decided to take his lunch break with me. Like, that made me feel loved. You can just be intentional about the love that you give and how you give it. And you can make every day Valentine's Day.
Man, give money, ball out, buy gifts every day, 365 days a year, ball out, and spoil your girl, spoil your man with the new Jordans, like she said, taking those, buy the new Jordans, buy the new video games, fly him out to Vegas, fly out to Cabo, buy the passport, do your thing, ball out.
You do not have to ball
I'm just playing.
out to make every day Valentine's Day.
I'm just playing, but those are people who were gifts of affirmation. They was like, yeah, let's do that. But no, every day, making everything Valentine's Day, like Sarah said, it's not about going big. It's about, being kind of specific with like how you spend your day, how you spend your time, and thinking about the other person too, but also thinking about, yourself too. The rough part about being in a relationship is knowing when this relationship ain't going nowhere. And if the other person is not invested in you like you are in them, because it's a painful situation when you are way more into the person than the person is way more into you, because you going all out your way, you going above and beyond, you're thinking about this person day in, day out, you're, rotating your schedule, and they ain't doing nothing in return. Now, I'm pretty sure Ken would have an issue if Sarah wasn't reciprocating that same intentionality and stuff like that, like having a certain time blocked off in her day that's just for her and her man. Like she has a certain time of day where everything stops, and that's just for his time. So for you guys who are maybe on the fence about maybe whether I should continue this relationship, and I know it's kind of tis the seat. It's kind of like you want to make it work through Valentine's Day.
Of course,
at least nobody want to break up the day before Valentine's or the week of Valentine's Day. At least if you want to break up, you got to break up after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Because usually people got tickets, people got dinners, people got shows, people spend a little money. But take inventory of your intimate relationships and see, like, is that other person, loving you like you would love you? I mean, let's just be honest. And I'm now, if it's only been like 2 months, okay, you can show a little grace. Show a little grace. If y'all New Year 2020 relationship, you can show.
Give them a little grace.
You can show a little grace, because you probably don't know that person like the back of your hand too. So let's show a little fairness, show a little grace. And that's another thing about relationships, is that you got to keep learning this person, because you are not going to stay the same person every single year, and neither are they. So you got to give them room to grow, because 1 year for a period of like 2.5, 3 years, you could be one way on the love language, and in the next 3-5 years, you could be the whole other way. Yep. Like I could go from quality time to gifts. I don't ever see me going to gifts. That's possible. It'd be a huge shift, but you got to be willing to like rotate, because you're going to rotate one day. So make sure that you're giving your spouse grace, not spouse. Well, those of you who are spouse, give the spouse especially grace. For those of you who are, looking to make that jump one day, give them a little grace in that development throughout your days. But also just like take it easy, like laid back. It's not anything that you got to overthink, because love is an action word, which is why, that's personally why acts of service is my top love language, because it's the action. But it's a daily thing. It's a daily choice. And you're choosing to love somebody through the good times, through the rough times. I'm choosing to be you, be faithful to you and only you. Even when you're acting up, even when I'm acting up, even when you're having a great day and you're being supported, starting the business, getting your degree, launching your business, going to these vacations, I'm going to still love you anyway. Even if it's, even if it's not my time to shine, right. I'm still going to love you anyway. And I think if you have that mindset, you'll be set as far as making the Valentine's Day every day, because honestly, when you reach that level of intentionality and being, thinking about your partner and being intentional about your partner and being conscious of your partner, Valentine's Day isn't really a big deal to you. Right. Eventually you get to the point to where Valentine's Day is just it's just another day to show love, but I show you love every day, baby. You know what I'm saying? I show you love every day, baby.
But don't use that as an excuse to not at least be extra nice on Valentine's Day, because there are some people, men and women, who feel like, well, I show you love every day, But look, let me tell you something, guys. If you and your girl had that conversation and you're like, well, I show you love every day, she's like, oh, okay. It is not okay. She still wants at least a shout out on social media, some type of acknowledgement on the day.
Rewind the tape. When Sarah just said at the beginning of the podcast, us men are not mind readers. So women, please don't do that. If you have an issue, speak on it.
I agree.
Even if you got to circle back and say, okay, but I changed my mind. I thought about it and I kind of do want to do something. Don't assume we gonna figure it out, because us men, Some of us, scratch that. A lot of us are shallow. We're not deep. Like 3 foot, 4 foot. We ain't deep. We ain't gonna just a lot of us don't critically think. So, like, if you feel some type of way about that, let us know.
Let them know, ladies.
We're not mind readers.
Please let them know, ladies. And on the same token, if it's Valentine's Day and you have a person, know that some type of acknowledgement is expected that day. Even if it's just, hey, I love you. Some type of acknowledgement is expected that day.
I think it's gonna be more than that, because I know if you a G like me, you say I love you every day.
That's fine. It's still Valentine's Day. It's still the love day.
If you a real G, it's gotta be. You know what I'm saying? It's gotta be more than just
I love you. You're right. Yeah, it's gonna be more, but
say it every day. What else you got from me?
You said what?
I'm like, what else you got from me?
What you know, but it's still like it's just a love day. I think for me, I think I look at Valentine's Day with put such a big emphasis on it is because of my parents. Like my parents made it such a big deal. Like my parents used to compete over who could do the best.
Now, when you say big deal, what you mean?
So first of all, my parents, they've been married 31 years. They got married after 6 weeks of knowing each other. And so
yes, she said 6 weeks.
I did say
all right, continue.
They hit 31 years Monday.
Skip past that.
Well, they hit 31 years. And so I definitely saw my parents love each other throughout the year. But on Valentine's Day, it's it became just this extra special thing. And so my parents, they would just kind of compete on who could get either the silliest gift or the biggest thing. And when I say big, I mean 1 year my mama got my daddy a literally life-size gorilla bear. They would do just stuff like that. And so my dad, not only would he do that for my mom, he would do that for me and my siblings. And I'm the only girl. And so he would at least get us a card, some candy or something, or some money. He would do that. And to this day, my daddy still gets me a card for Valentine's Day. And so just seeing them and just seeing how much they just spread the love even with us, that makes me just love that day. And so, but the fun fact is, even though I love this day, I could probably count on one hand how many times I actually celebrated the day with a significant other.
Oh, okay.
And this is the reason why. My birthday is 10 days after Valentine's Day. So
they hit you with hey, you either gonna get it on Valentine's Day or you gonna get it on your birthday. Pick one.
So when I was younger, guys would always say, hey, do you want a Valentine's Day gift or do you want a birthday gift? And me being me, I was like, oh, I want a birthday gift. But guess what happens, y'all? Sometime in between Valentine's Day and my birthday, we break up. It happens every time. Every time. And I look back on it, it's funny now. But back then I used to be so mad because I was like, well, dang, I ain't getting nothing. But, it's funny though. It's funny. It's really funny. But that still did not change my love for the day.
Mm-hmm. I gotcha. That is hilarious.
It is funny. But guess what? My boo now, he don't do that. So.
Yeah, that's great. So, I had a thought. I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, I do. Be on the same page, whatever it is, for Valentine's Day or the days after, because for example, my wife, she doesn't like flowers. Flowers, it's not her thing. She's it's gonna die. There's no point in just.
Yeah, that's the truth.
That's her thing. But other ladies, some of y'all love flowers. I feel sorry for your men who gotta buy 12 dozen roses every year and spend, because roses ain't cheap.
They're not cheap.
They ain't cheap.
And if you're anything like me, you'll ask for some jade roses, which are green roses.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's that right there. I'm so glad that my wife does not care a flying flip about flowers. She'll say oh, they pretty, but then they going in the side. They go in the trash. They ain't going in the trash that day. But she ain't gonna be messed up and oh, they died. Oh my gosh, no, my flowers. That ain't her. That's not her jam. But in terms of spending quality time with her, like, okay, let's at least go out to dinner. Let's go see a movie. Let's do something else besides just stay in the house and just chill. Let's do a little something. We ain't gotta go to Ruth Chris, but we could go to, Texas Roadhouse. We could go to something. We can do something. We can go painting with a twist. We can do something. Like be on the same page. Like we said on the last podcast, communication is key.
I agree. Like me and Ken, we are very because we're both so very active in our lives. Like when we're together, we're very chill. So and I don't like crowds. I don't do crowds. So for Valentine's Day, we're very laid back. So we've already got our plans. We are gonna go to the movies. And the new Issa Rae Love movie is coming out. So I definitely told him I did want to go to the movies. So we're going to the movies and we're going to one of our favorite little restaurant spots. When I say we're so chill, last year we watched movies and ate hot wings, and that was the best thing ever.
Boom.
But that's just because we're on that same page. It'd be completely different if he's trying to be chill and I'm trying to go to Ruth Chris. You have to talk about those things. Yeah. But for us, we're so laid back and chill on stuff like that. And we actually talked about it last night. I was I don't even ever foresee us even going to somewhere where you got to spend $200 on a meal. I was why are we gonna even do that? To me, we ain't got to do all of that.
I mean, if you balling like that.
If you're balling like that,
go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
By all means, go. But I think if you know your partner and you guys are okay or just happy with what you do, go do that. Mm-hmm. You don't have to stunt for the gram just because it's Valentine's Day. No.
Yes, you do, Sarah. Yes, you do.
You do not got to stunt for the gram. Because let me tell you something. I would much rather you tell it to me and we spend this quality time than to be out here trying to stunt for these folks. And I don't even know why we stunt.
That's true. If you stunt and ain't got real love, then that's a real problem. Why do people be stunting though? Why y'all be stunting? Why people be stunting? That's what I want to know. Please comment under this episode if you're a stunter, or I won't say stunter. Let's say this in a positive way. If you like to show off your significant other and the gifts that you get your significant other, explain to us why you do. What's the logic behind that? Do you just like? I think they just like the affirmation. I think that's what it is. But what is it?
There's anything wrong with that, guys? Because hey, if you want to show it off. You love your person.
I'm gonna say something wrong with it.
I feel if you love it, if you like it, we love it.
Stop being vain. Stop being vain.
You said
stop being vain.
I don't think that's.
Stop trying to shine on us. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care that you went to the Bahamas. Don't nobody care that you got 12 dozen roses. Don't nobody care. Don't nobody care that you get a room full of roses. Don't nobody care.
They care.
Your significant other should care, but we don't care.
They care.
The people don't care. The people, because what happens is the single girls, they be envious and then they have these high expectations of what every man should do. See what he did? He did the room full of roses, and then he did a back handspring back on his knee and then proposed with the helicopter with the fireworks. And then they went out to Ruth Chris and had, 12 steak dinners and dessert. So I should need that for my man. So stop it. Stop it. Stop having these unrealistic expectations and putting them on your man. That's another nugget. Let me back up. Comparison is a thief of joy. Now this is serious. Now I'm serious right now. I know I made y'all laugh a little bit, but comparison is the thief of joy. If you are sitting here comparing your relationship to other people, you are going to set yourself up for a headache.
And you will miss the beauty of your own personal relationship.
Exactly. The beauty of that person who you chose to enter in partnership, in marriage, in situationship, whatever y'all got going. You'll miss the beauty of it if you end up comparing what other people got or what you previously had. Now that's dangerous too. If you're looking in the past and you keep comparing when you was with the buster who didn't care about you, but he balled out. You know, y'all went first class. Y'all flew in helicopters. Men the other way, you know, she put it down, but now you got a celibate church girl who cares about your heart instead of your part, and your soul instead of your part. You know what I'm saying? So don't compare the previous relationship or other people's relationship, because other people got an entirely different situation. If they in a whole different tax bracket, of course they gonna ball out, because it's nothing that they're gonna recoup it in the next week. Other people, they might be miserable behind the scenes and they just showing out for the gram. So that's why I said, you guys stop it. And then you just don't know what other people's situation is. So do not try to put other people's situation on your situation. Live in your moment, maximize what it can be. And if you don't like it, do what you can to improve it. Have a conversation. Take the love languages. Communicate. Upgrade that up. Y'all on the same page, or bounce.
That's true. I agree. Because one thing we do know is that social media is a highlight reel. And so, especially on days like Valentine's Day, people, of course, are going to show the love. They're going to show what they got. They're going to show what their significant other's doing. But don't let that cause you to, like we said, miss the beauty of your relationship. Or even if you're single, don't let what you see other people are doing on social media cause you to just feel bad that day, to feel like it's never gonna happen to you, and why this girl get this, or why this dude do this, and how they do such and such and such. Because like we said, you never know what's going on behind the scenes. That one couple who you think got it all together might be scrapping, you know, right after they took the picture. You know what I mean? But don't miss the moment. You know, I think I agree. I think the worst thing we can do is expect your spouse or your partner to be like somebody else. No, this is this person. This is what they do. You know, learn the person, communicate with them, and be open. You know, be open to what your partner has planned or wants to do for you. And be grateful, because trust me, there are at least 50 people who wish they could have that person, or wish they had somebody who thought enough about them to want to do something on Valentine's Day. You know? So enjoy the moment.
Straight facts.
Share the love.
Share the love. Love yourself. Take the love languages. Do what you got to do to
be happy.
Be the best love that you can be.
And be kind to yourself on Valentine's Day. Be kind to yourself.
But don't get drunk.
You said what?
But don't get drunk.
Yeah,
do not get like just
texting.
Like chocolate wasted with the vodka shot and a margarita and all that good stuff.
No drunk texting on Valentine's Day.
Because what we don't want is for you to have a November baby.
What's wrong with November?
Because November babies were Valentine's babies. Let's be real. So let's not make a permanent decision based off of temporary emotions / temporary hormones.
True.
So.
And if you're single, no drunk texting.
Yeah, no drunk texting, no high texting, no nothing text. If somebody's in the past, leave them in the past.
Right, they're there for a reason. And just because it's Valentine's Day and you in your feelings, that is not the time to reconnect.
No,
definitely not. Regret it.
Yep. So
February 15th.
The next day, not even a whole week, month.
No, you gonna look up and you'll be like, why did I do that? And it all could have just been avoided if you just kept your feelings to yourself.
Right. So save yourself the hurt, save yourself the pain, save yourself the child support. And child support. Feeling your feelings, don't turn to substances.
On that day.
Say no to drugs on Valentine's Day. Unless you're with a significant other, you can do what you want, I guess. But, I mean, that's your choice. Just saying. Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of Pursuit of the Good Life podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please give us those 5 stars. We are on several podcasting platforms. I've lost count. I think we're on 8 right now.
All of them, Apple, Spotify.
Apple, Spotify,
YouTube.
Google. We're on YouTube. We're on Beaker, on Radio Host. Coming to Stitcher soon. Wherever you're listening to this, give us the 5-star rating. Share this with somebody who needs it. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. Follow us on Instagram at pursuit_podcast.
Comment, y'all. Send us some questions.
Oh yeah, we've been slacking on the questions.
Yeah, if you have a question about anything that you've heard, anything you would like to hear, please don't hesitate to DM us on Instagram or comment on any of those platforms, and we will make sure we answer your questions. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. Spread the love on this beautiful day, and have fun.
All right. We'll see you guys next time. Until those, let me try that again. All right. We will see you guys next time. Until then, keep pursuing, keep chasing after those goals and crushing those dreams. See you guys next Thursday. Peace.
Bye, y'all.